All right. I'd like to welcome Maverick McNealy here to the interview room at the 2025 AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Maverick, being from California originally, having a couple top tens in this event before, could we just get some opening remarks on the excitement being back here at Pebble Beach?
I'm really excited to be here. It's my favorite tournament of the year. It's my favorite golf course on tour, and it was a huge focus for me in the fall to try and make sure I played well and locked up that 10 spots coming here. So that was a huge circle in my calendar, so pumped to be here.
Being from California, opening up out here in the West Coast swing, gotta feel like you enjoy starting the season out here.
Yeah, I'm as a West Coast guy, I play a pretty heavy West Coast and a little bit of a lighter Florida swing. Just love the turf out here, familiar, the heavy ocean air. I seem to have a good record on courses by the water too, so this is second out of 5 in a row for me, and but feels like one of the easiest prep weeks for me because I just know the golf course super well and don't have to adjust very much to the turf.
7th start in this event, and mentioned before a couple pair of top tens here before. What about these courses mesh well with your game?
The Poa annua greens help a lot. The Poa annua greens help a lot. It's a surface that I play in high school and know those really well. I just see those even in my just easy to read putts, so that helps. There's, I think, also just not having to work as hard as I do on Bermuda grass to
We're all good.
no worries.
Okay. And once we get going here, we'll open it up to questions. So if you have any. Good.
Check.
All good? Okay. If you have any questions for Maverick, please feel free to raise your hand. We can get a microphone over to you. We'll start right here in the middle.
Hey, I guess we're entering another year of the Signature Event Series here. I'm just wondering, how do you take stock of how this has gone for the PGA Tour?
I haven't been involved really in those conversations. I know from a player's perspective, these are where you want to be. This is playing an 80-man field with no cut at Pebble Beach and 36 holes of championship golf against the best players in the world at Pebble Beach this week is it's a dream come true. Being able to try and win a tournament here coming down the stretch, and the Pro-Am partners we have this week are pretty awesome. It's definitely an awesome carrot on the end of the string for us to play for and get rewarded for having a good year. As far as the business goes, I don't know how that's going for the tour. I hope it's going well, but this is definitely the type of tournament you want to play in as a player.
Do you think that the events have sort of met what the tour was hoping to achieve with them, not necessarily from a business standpoint, but just from like a competitive standpoint?
I don't know. Again, I don't know what their, I don't know what the TV ratings are. I don't know what the, I'm not entirely sure. I just know that I'm really, really excited to be here, and this is, a really cool chance for me to try and beat all of the best players in the world, and that doesn't happen very often in our sport. It didn't happen very often in our sport before. And to have everybody here and have a chance to try and beat him at Pebble is going to be awesome.
Good. Come over here to Doug.
For people, Maverick, who might be watching this week, how many do you think would be tuning in to watch the field, and how many are tuning in to watch Pebble? And if it's the latter, how many other courses are like that on tour, do you think?
I think one of my favorite things about the entire PGA Tour and structure of golf is the fact that we don't have the same field of play every week. We don't have the same baseball diamond or the same 100-yard gridiron. We play on completely different venues and fields of play that reward different types of players and different scenery. It's my favorite thing about the sport, and the field's obviously awesome, but this type of field at this golf course is something you really only see with the U.S. Open, and I think it's a treat for the golf world to get to watch and see the way the best players in the world play this place. And it's going to play completely different than it did last year. It's really, really firm. The rough's down, but it's still hard to hit greens if you don't hit the fairway, and it's a completely different test than it was even last year.
But if you were playing for whatever reason, give me an example of another tournament that you would tune in mostly because of the golf course.
I think.
That doesn't count, by the way. That's out.
No, you're good. I think TPC Sawgrass is a really compelling golf tournament, just based on the finish there and the history there. I think another personal favorite of mine is TPC River Highlands at Hartford. I know there's excitement about having really, or winning scores that are close to par, but from a player's perspective, it's really fun coming down the stretch at Hartford, because even if you're 6 back with 6 to play, if you hit great golf shots, you can birdie the last 6 and still give yourself a chance, but you can also make a couple bogeys and fall out really quick if you hit a few bad shots. And kind of see that at Pebble. 18, you can make a 3 or you can make a 7 really quick, and that's what makes it really exciting.
Hey, just curious if you've watched TGL, whether you've kept up with it and your thoughts on it, and then maybe just a sense for what the players who aren't playing on tour, do you feel like they're watching it, tuning in, or is it kind of just happening in the background a little bit?
It was interesting being in the training room yesterday, or on Monday, with TGL in the training room, and a couple of the guys who played a few of the matches kind of commentating. I know the players that are in it absolutely love it. I'm still waiting for my call for the Las Vegas team, but no, I haven't watched it yet. I really don't watch much TV, but yeah, I would definitely play if I get the call.
And kind of going off of that, Rory was in here yesterday talking about things that maybe golf could do to become a better entertainment product. Curious for your thoughts about where golf stands as a product, and whether maybe there's too many different aspects of golf right now.
Look, I think we do have an awesome product. I really do. The tournaments we play, there's always a great storyline. The guy who wins has always played unbelievable golf, and that hasn't changed, and that won't change. I think the wonderful thing about our sport is, with a 156 player field, anybody can win. That's how deep our tour is right now, and there's going to be awesome storylines, and you're really coming out to see the best players in the world having one of their best weeks of their years or their careers. Like, at the end of the day, we love watching golf shots. My favorite things to do are watching rounds stitched together where it's just golf shot after golf shot after golf shot. And even playing and competing, it's fun to see other best players in the world doing what they do and learning from them and watching them. So I think we do have a great product. I just love watching as many golf shots as possible.
Come down here to Adam.
Excuse me. Why do you think fewer people have been watching golf than of late?
That's a good question. I don't really know. I think what drives value in this tour is legacy and history, and the fact that it really matters to win. This is a personal opinion, but I think the first couple years of LIV weren't very compelling to me because it didn't seem like it mattered much apart from a big paycheck to win out there. I can tell you it was a life-changing week for me when I won at RSM, and I think that's what's wonderful about this tour is that, especially for all of the non-winners out there, every time you tee it up, you have a chance to change your life that week. And I think that's what makes it really cool and really interesting. And I guarantee you, not once on that back nine did the paycheck ever cross my mind, trying to get my first win. And to call myself a PGA Tour winner means the world. To be able to play in AT&T Pebble Beach, play in the Masters this year, hopefully get in all the majors. That's what matters to me, the legacy and the excitement. And I think everyone to a certain extent is really focused on the money, and I promise you, coming down the stretch, that's not what we're thinking about on this tour.
Can you drill down a little bit more on how it was life-changing to win? How so?
You can talk about all of the different things that change in your schedule and whatnot. For me, the life-changing thing was the fact that from the day that I turned pro, I've spent every waking hour and tracking my sleep, trying to get a win. That's my goal. Obviously get your card on them, but you're trying to win every single week. And I've got an incredible team behind me that's dedicating their life and their work to helping me perform. And my best friend at our wedding in a toast after said it really well. It's like, it took you 8 years to become an overnight sensation, and like it was really validating to a culmination of all the work it took for years and years on my behalf and my teams to make that happen. So that's probably the biggest change.
We'll go to MK in the back and then come over to Doug.
In terms of winning and then not having a stretch where you didn't win, has any player asked you on tour recently about the balance within the tour and if there's issues with it, since you have such a unique and timely, career on tour?
Balance as in
As in winning and not winning and how you keep your card.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes in terms of eligibility. It seems like there's a little bit of a divide between the top players and not top players. It's definitely a good time to play good. I can tell you that. And, it seems like the train is leaving. You better get your ticket quick is kind of the feeling. Whether I agree with that or not, I don't know. But it definitely, last year and this year and maybe a year or two coming up are some of the most important years to play good golf, to set yourself up on the PGA Tour for sure.
Go ahead, Doug.
How much did you win from RSM?
I think it was 1.4 million.
I don't know. I just wanted to see if you knew. I don't think a lot of people know how much they win anymore.
I don't, it hasn't changed what I do on a day-to-day basis, but I can tell you, got me a lot more excited to get out there and practice and get ready for Kapalua.
Yeah, exactly. What you played here last year on exemption. I don't have your record in front of me, but how many SIG events did you play last year outside of this one?
I played this one. I played, aside from majors, I played the PGA, I played the Open, I played the Players, and that was it. That was it.
Okay. So I guess my question was, having gone through a year of not being in the signature events, did you find the access to them fair?
I've talked about my views on the points. I think last year they were skewed. There were too many points given for the level of play in the middle of the field in signature events. So I'm really happy they got that figured out. My personal opinion is that I have no issue if top players get paid more for having a great year and they get to play in those. But I think equal pay should have equal number of points. Equal play should have equal number of points, and starting the season, every player should have an equal chance to play their way into the next year. I think cuts. Again, personal opinion. I think cuts are an important part of the game, and there's, like I said, our fields are so deep. I was a non-winner on the PGA Tour 3 months ago, and I'm the same guy. I haven't changed. I'm playing pretty good right now, but I think that's the cool thing, is that there's so many players that have the game and the chance to win, and I'd like to see a lot of guys have a chance starting the week.
So the points are one thing. Did you find the swing 5, the stretches between tournaments and the top 10 in the FedEx Cup to be adequate? And did you find yourself at all, depending on how you were playing, during some of those stretches, looking at that top 5 list?
I was definitely looking at the list. I think the idea behind it is good. You want to reward the guys that you kind of give them the hot hand. You want to also reward the guys that are having a great season. The weird thing about last year was that winning early in the year was way more valuable than winning late in the year, because you look at Matthew Pavon wins the Farmers, the third event of the season. He's in all the signature events the rest of the year because he's not going to fall out of that next 10. Johnny Vegas played with him at 3M. He won a 500-point full field event, but was like barely in the playoffs. So the timing of the win, based on the way that was set up, mattered a lot, which was an interesting consequence. But and I'm actually not in all the signature events. I'm not in Bay Hill yet. I'm hopefully going to get in based on the next 10 or world ranking or something. But a fall win got me these first 2.
Is there a solution to that?
I'm sure there is. I haven't spent a ton of time thinking about it. Really just been trying to get my my golf game in good shape, and really the best thing I could do for my season is play great this week. So,
Yep. A couple more. We'll go right back to the middle.
Not to ask you for another solution, but there was a lot of chatter about slow play last week. I'm curious if you feel like it's kind of reached a boiling point to a certain extent, and if there was anything you think that could be done to improve it.
So I'm gonna go back to golf courses and golf course setup to answer this question. I played all 4 rounds, and that was some of the hardest golf I've ever played. You got flags bending like this on greens that are running 12, 12 and a half, and we're playing for our jobs. And the thing with professional golfers is you've got all kinds, but everyone is very competitive. That's the one thing we all have in common, and we'll do anything we can to play great golf. You're playing a 7,800-yard golf course. It's a par 72. The scoring average is 75 or 76 versus how many tournaments have a scoring average of 67. That's a lot more golf shots being hit. We're walking a lot more distance. I think there's this. I think we don't really know what we want right now. Do we want scores near par? Do we want really hard golf courses? Do we want interesting golf courses? Do we want fast pace of play? I feel like there's a give and take. It's like, one side we say we want playing opportunities. The other side we want stronger fields. That's not something we can have both. It's a scale. So if we're going to have a golf course with 20 to 40 mile an hour winds, that's 7,800 yards with 4-inch rough and 12 and a half greens with a scoring average of 76. I don't think we're physically able to play that fast. So, but then again, my personal opinion is I love variety. I love really hard setups and, easier, more gettable setups. And that's the beautiful thing about the PGA Tour is that, it's different every week.
All right, Maverick, thank you for the time, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.